2024 regular Board of Education meeting to order at 7 p.m. Roll call, please. Gwen Bialik. Here. David Costa.
Here.
Stephanie House.
Here.
Jennifer Rolick. Steve Sebastian. Kashali Shaw.
Here.
Josie Shattuck.
Here.
Quorum present. I will invite the Boy Scout troop to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
Audience, please rise. Everybody close the colors. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Cookies, so good job. Okay. Public participation, consistent with Open Meetings Act 5 ILC 120/2.06G and Board Policy, public participation in school board meetings and petitions to the board will reserve 45 minutes for public comments, 3 minutes maximum per person during the board meeting. So I see Grace has signed in, so I can speak to the board.
School life. I like pizza and I really like potato tots. What I don't like is the new applesauce that appears makes people sick. And the salad, and what I think, any ideas I think are macaroons of like Chinese stuff and like choices, and yeah. Oh, and fruit.
And like real fruit. Thank you so much. Thank you. I'd like to call Carolyn Oakes.
Good evening, I'm Carolyn Oakes, former teacher for 28 years, sub for 3 years, and current community member for 46 years. At last month's meeting, I was very disappointed to hear a community stakeholder survey was sent out with regards to hiring a deputy superintendent. I had made efforts to chat with Mr. Mulvey from IESB to understand the process, and I wanted to follow it. I remember he planned to come back in August, and even though he wasn't on the agenda, I attended, and he was there. That's when he said the survey had been done. I was furious. I approached Dr. Butte and Mrs. Shaw after the meeting, and Dr. Butte informed me it had been posted on the district website, and I responded that I watched that site almost daily, and it was never there. After asking many in the community, I came to realize community members with children in the district received the link via email, and those of us without children in the district had no role in it. Many of us have a history from which to speak. I'm not even sure staff members were sent a survey. I'm glad you decided to reopen the survey and post it on the Prairie Grove website, which put it on social media. I have since seen other community letters people have posted that we never got. Please remedy that issue and start at least posting on the website. You might also ask community members for contact information to keep us informed. The school district is a big part of our tax bill, and it's very disrespectful to not communicate with all of us. The district is lacking in communication and transparency. It seems to me that a district of 900 students that can afford 8 administrators can at least afford to communicate with all who pay the bills. I am so disappointed.
Thank you. And Alicia?
Yeah.
It says unsure.
I'm sure. First meeting, trying to feel things out. New to Prairie with a kindergartner. Dr. B and I have had some correspondence, so at this time, I don't have any exact topics to bring up, but thank you.
Okay, may I have a motion to open the 2024-25 budget hearing?
So
Second. Discussion? Do I read this first, or do you go first?
roll call.
Oh, the discuss, why does it say discussion then?
You have a motion to open.
Yeah, okay, roll call vote. David Costa? To open the
To
hearing.
open again, yes.
Stephanie Howell? Yes. Jennifer, Josie Shattuck?
Here.
Gwen Violet?
Here, yes.
And Kashali Shaw? Yes. Motion carried. It's just
So each September, the school board conducts a budgetary hearing. It's required under the state statutes, 105 ILCS 517-1. It's for the estimation of revenues and expenditures from July 1 to June 30th, which is fiscal year 25. And 2 months ago, we gave you a tentative budget. Tonight would be the opportunity that we would make reservations in that budget, changes to it. They've been on display since August the 2nd in the district office. After tonight, after the hearing, we'll close the hearing. We'll have an actual vote later in the agenda to approve or not approve the budget. If it's approved, it has to be then obviously sent to ISB. It goes to the county clerk and the ROE. And gets posted on our website. On slide 7 is where you'll see the estimated revenues and expenditures for the year. And this would be should be the final year that you see a large negative red number in the profit loss. That's the payout of the final construction projects to be paid out in the next month or two. The other areas that are negative, IRF, Social Security, tort liability, we've been purposely spending those funds down. There's no point in levying extra dollars in IRF, Social Security, and tort liability when the funds can only be spent for those topics. There's no point in having a large bank account on those. So we've been redoing that and moving them into the other areas. The other areas that you see in the red would be O&M and obviously debt service because the payment of bonds. This budget on the slide doesn't indicate the transfers of dollars. Will be resolutions later in the year to transfer reserves from education and or O&M to debt service to pay those notes. That happens we pay the interest in August, and we have another payment and interest due in February, so that actually began in January. Slide 8 shows the history of the revenues over the last 5 years from 2020-21 to current. You can see the revenues are listed there by fund. Fund 10, the education fund, which would be about where 90% of all the revenues and expenditures are located in. Operation and maintenance is Fund 20. Fund 30 is the debt service. That's the fund used to pay the bill, the notes and bills. Transportation is Fund 40. Fund 50 is a combination of IMRF and Social Security. Fund 60 is the capital projects fund. Fund 70 is working cash. That's your internal bank account. Fund 80 is the tort immunity liability account. And 90 is health and life safety. The next slide shows you the historical expenditures over those same funds. And of course, you've had a couple of years there, we've had large expenditures and that would be from revenue from the bonds. Slide 10 shows you over that same 5-year period, the district has had revenue of $100,909,000 and expenditures of $98 million. So over the 5-year time frame, even though you have hidden years in the red and a couple of those years, you have actually banked money over the last 5 years of $1.2 million. Questions so far?
Yeah.
Yes.
Is the banked money because we got more from those bonds? And that's where those revenues are coming in from, or is it from like?
Yes, the revenues in 21-22 was $12 million from the year before. That was the bond issue. And then in 23-24, we had a bond issue. So if you factor the bond issues out, you still have done okay over the last 5 years. You're not losing money. No, you don't want to also bank a ton of money, but you want to have enough to meet your needs if there's some issue that arises. Variances from what we had earlier this summer. Okay? State and federal grants have been finalized, and the interest estimates have been updated. Slide 12 shows your policy for a 20-year fund balance, your days cash on hand. The current policy requires having 60 days minimum cash on hand. This formula shows the adjusted cash balances from June 30th of $15.9 million, the forecasted deficit of $2.1 million for the year, and the cash balance for June 30th, 25 estimated at $13.7 million. Factoring out on behalf of payments and transfers and the capital expenditures, it gives you the adjusted forecast days on hand for June 30th, 2025, 267 days cash on hand. Go ahead.
What was our previous, did we change that at some point?
Yeah, one time it was 90 days cash on hand, and it went down to 60 in 2019, 2020, when we did a project out of district reserves, the library fax project, with no bonds.
Okay.
So we adjusted the days cash on hand policy at that point in time, from 90 to 60.
And this days cash on hand includes, or accounts for what we're still gonna be paying relative to the addition, correct?
No, those funds are excluded.
Excluded,
Yes.
okay.
It's actual,
It's actual.
get rid of the actual bond monies, that's the actual days of cash on hand from the rest of the accounts.
Understood, okay, thank you.
Public Act 102-1102, passed a couple of years ago, requires districts to disclose cash reserve balances for all funds related to their operational levy and the obligations secured by those funds. You'll see that on slide 14. These are the unaudited fund balances from each of the accounts. Education, $5.29 million, operations, $2.58 million, transportation, $953,000, working cash, $112,000, debt service, $0. IMRF, $293, capital projects, $11.26, fire safety, $1.3, tort liability, $80,000, and the student activity account, $40,000. The obligations secured by those funds include bonds of 21 and 23 for a total of $22.6 million, bus lease of $334,000 a year, the copier lease, and the facility lease for transportation. That will all be posted either tonight or tomorrow on the district webpage. I believe in the agenda then it's now open for public comment.
Now it's open.
Yes.
Any comments from the public regarding the budget that was posted?
Additional questions from the board?
Any questions from the board? Okay, good. As a corporate entity charged by the law of governing the school district, the Board of Education sits in trust for the entire community. Aligning with the board's goals, this budget is mindful of education excellence for all students while being mindful of maintaining financial stability. Tonight, September 17, 2024, is the date set for the hearing on the budget school budget for the school year ending in June 30th, 2025. The tentative budget has been available for public inspection as required by law, and notice of said public hearing was published on August 2nd, 2024, as required by law. With that said, Dr. Butte will report on the budget being proposed for adoption this evening. We had the report, we had an opportunity for public comment and board comment, and we reviewed it, and then may I have a motion to close the 2024-25 budget hearing?
So,
Second. Discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Anybody opposed? Motion carries. Now, we're going to move into administrative reports.
The building admin report has been included in your packet. Any questions for Mrs. Model and Ms. Smith? Who are in attendance tonight? Mr. Martin was, but he's no longer in the room.
Was there a good turnout for the two events, the back to school nights or whatever it was?
I don't want to speak for Mark.
Yes.
But yeah, we got a pretty good turnout in the junior high. We also paired with our Timberley overnight trip parent-student seminar. And then we got a seminar for those attending the Eastern field trip in late September. I did hear from Amanda Douglas, who graciously runs the book fair, and it's our highest grossing book fair to date. We superseded last
Outstanding.
fall, so that was amazing as well. So we had very busy evenings last week, yes.
that was a great event. It was great to see a lot of people walking around. I went there, my kids went there and checked out the other halls. Yes, very, very well done.
Martha says yes.
Moving on to my report, I do want to highlight one item on my report. We have the Internal Communications Committee with PGTA, PGESP, we're going to do that this year. I've given you the date for our first meeting, October the 15th, and then the dates for the other two are January 2nd or February 18th, and April 15th, May 20th. I do need feedback from the board on which of the alternate dates for meetings 2 and 3 you would prefer, and who will be attending. I don't need that information tonight, but I do need that in the very near future, so we can arrange that with PGTA and PGESP.
Refresh my memory, do we have goals and objectives for the committee?
It is not. No. It is a free-form conversation between the associations and the board. The updated strategic plan is available for the board review tonight with the strategies written by the building administrators. They are anxiously awaiting I've given them some feedback, they're waiting your feedback and your thoughts on those before they go and dive into specific action plans related to each one of those.
I read it.
Is there anything specific you would like to see modified, added, deleted, changed?
And just to review, this was based on the meetings that we had over several.
Correct, this is based on the meeting that started last October, then we wordsmithed the mission, the vision, the belief statements a couple of times, and then gave the strategy, the broad objectives were written by the board, and then was given to the administration to then wordsmith the strategies, and once they're okay with the strategy, then they'll go with the actual specific goals for each one of those to project out. Yes.
What I would like to see is eventually a presentation to the board of the strategies and goals.
That's what I was gonna say.
Correct, yes.
And we get to see
From
that.
each area, and we can do 2 in one day, or we can do it all together, but I'd like to go through that.
So we're on the
You know,
same
the
page.
strategies look fine.
Right. For tonight, they wanted to make sure that you're on the same page with them on the strategies, and then they'll do the deeper dive, make the presentation to the board and get feedback on the specifics.
That's good. Yeah.
Excellent, thank you.
I think it looks great, I agree, presentation would be great.
Yes, the our enrollment has gone up in last year by 50-ish.
Not the same as it was last month this time.
Nice. Anything else? Just for construction.
Yeah, construction, financing is on track. We should have one more, what I'm gonna call large payout, which should be the final. We're at 95%, kind of higher than now of completion, working on the punch list items. Those have been happening on weekends. So when we were there last month for the ribbon cutting, if you recall, the surrounds around the lockers were not installed. Half of them are now installed, the other half are expecting this weekend to be installed. A few, maybe 6 things left overall on the punch list to wrap that up.
New wing, did we, all necessary security features in place? Relative to the.
They have the same-
Bringing it up.
Yes, they have the same procedures, the same shelter in place procedures and locking mechanisms are in all of the areas, including that.
Okay, so we're good to go, they're there.
They are there, correct. We had one drill, and the next drill's coming up in the next 10 days. So no progress drill.
And we're good with the one, like, we had to change some things in that side, right? Did we have some of that stuff?
Correct.
Okay.
We made modifications to the floor plan, to the exit areas, to shelter in place locations.
Do we do anything with regards to, making sure, like, people that come in here, subs and stuff like that, to give them like a idea of what our school, that kind of stuff, if they're here and knowing that information?
We, in each of the classrooms for the subs, there's what we call the red folder, still red, that has all the safety information inside of it. It's right inside the classroom doors and wall.
How are the kids like in your classroom? That's,
I mean, I was in today, Mrs. Smith, you were there.
They're amazing.
Yep.
I mean, they truly are amazing. You guys have seen that PT room too, right?
yeah,
It's a little more cool classroom. It's really hurting.
It was jam-packed, open house night. I mean, it was
I didn't see the other.
wall people, so.
And then what should be under, right, or at the budget for the
We'll
construction?
do that in budget.
Any other questions?
One other question, how was the first day using the new entrance and parking flow? Do we need to, are we on par?
A total of 5 people that didn't drop off out there the first day, maybe 5 people between both sides, maybe.
Yeah, there was a handful.
Yeah, a handful.
Continued with previous routines, but everybody's, adjusted to their routine.
Prairie Road Police were on hand the first couple days in the parking lot and the road, having direct traffic. And I think the biggest concern that I see when I'm out there is the large gaps between cars. When the elementary has more students than junior high, so when they queue up, they do tend to go all the way up the road. And then you could fit cars in between the cars. If they move in a little bit more, we definitely would not be on Valley View. It's vastly improved over on this instance.
good buses are okay going in and out.
Any drivers?
Yeah.
Still need bus
Did you
drivers.
say nature?
I need drivers. We do have, the afternoons, we have some drivers that are only able to drive in the mornings for us, so that the afternoons, we do literally a multi-combo route every day. And now we're obviously in the sports season for junior high, so that pulls a driver and a bus out as well, 2 to 3 nights a week, which adds to the number of combo routes that we're running. We have 3 drivers I know for sure that are in the training queue right now with Trina and Sue. So once you decide to be a driver, it takes 3 weeks, 30 days. If you have no training, you have to get trained. You have to drive so many hours behind the wheel of the bus. You have to go and pass the test at the B&B. Not everyone passes the test, either the written or the driving. And it's a lengthy process. We were talking to a driver yesterday. He is an experienced driver, had 20 hours of training that he had to do in order to start driving. So we have some in the queue. We just don't have them done, ready to drive right now, which is causing issues in the afternoons.
I have 2 timeline questions. Any update on the village adding school zone speed limit signs?
I have no answer for that.
And then the landscaping, what is the timeline for construction?
It is over half finished. We're waiting on the excavator. They need to finish up the shaping. That was done this week. The landscapers I don't think they were here today. They were here on Monday. Working. We expect that to be wrapped up within the next week. Now that it's been shaped, they need to come out before it rains, whatever that is. So they'll get it on. The prairie grasses, the large areas of the national prairie grasses, the turf grass will be the 6 to 8 foot track around the sidewalks and the parking lot that will mow. The rest of it will be the national that we shouldn't have to mow. Might have to do some maintenance to it every years, burning it down. Other than that, it should be good.
And then a third question, you mentioned rain. I know a couple months back, I think there was discussion of the plants that were put in the parking lot, and I'm wondering if
So the landscaper, once a week, comes out with a water truck and waters them. It's not.
That's what I saw.
Yeah.
It's also better than using water can. It's really dawned on me, there were water plants.
Because if they die, they have to replace them within a year. This is the warranty for a year, so it's in their best interest to keep them watered. So all the plantings that are required in the parking lot, medians, and then they're watered.
and they do have a 1-year warranty. Great.
What is the status of the solar field?
Waiting on the confirmation from ComEd for the interconnect. Everything is ready to go. Without the interconnect, they can't go to the village for permit. I met with, the main guy whose office is in Chicago earlier this month. He said they are, in some cases, 18 months. ComEd is dragging their feet on many solar projects. We're at like 8 months now, waiting. They're ready to go, just need the interconnect. It literally could come any day, but I don't have time for it. He doesn't give it.
Any other questions?
That comes from whose village?
Which one? The interconnect comes directly from ComEd,
ComEd.
and then they'll apply for the village for a permit.
Okay.
Yeah. Once you have the interconnect, the village is going to approve it.
Right.
Moving on to new business, may I have a motion to approve the consent agenda, which includes regular minutes from August 20th, 2024, bills payable, treasurer's report, Public Act 96-0434, 96-0266, and 97-0609.
Second.
Discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote please.
Josie Shattuck,
Yes.
Gwen Violet,
Yes.
David Costa,
Yes.
Stephanie House,
Yes.
Rashali Shaw,
Yes.
motion carried.
Okay, this is where, may I have a motion to adopt the 2024-25 budget?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? This is what we discussed at the beginning of the meeting. Okay. Roll call vote please.
Josie Shattuck,
Yes.
Gwen Violet,
Yes.
David Costa,
Yes.
Stephanie House,
Yes.
Rashali Shaw,
Yes.
motion carried.
Okay. May I have a motion to approve an intergovernmental agreement with McHenry County College?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
So this is dealing with our school safety plan. During review, starting last year, moving on to this year, if we had an event where we needed to vacate and evacuate the property, there really isn't a place in Prairie Grove general vicinity that could take 900 students and 150 staff members to do a reunification. So if we had a major gas leak or a fire during the school day and we needed to vacate, where are we gonna go? The old plan had us going to one of the D47 schools. They're in session. They really don't have room for us either. So in conversations starting last year, McHenry County College, since all the schools in the county are served by that university there at the school, they agreed to be a central point for reunification if there's ever a disaster on your school property. And so this is an intergovernmental agreement that allows us to utilize their couple of hallways and their gym space to put on a reunification if we had to vacate the property.
So with that, I mean, we run bus service, so like, and they run in 2 rounds. I mean, it's great that it's at a big location, but you kind of have to get everybody there.
That's correct. You're not wrong. That's correct.
So what's the plan with that?
Well, we would most likely, if, let's say it was a gas leak, that's the easiest one to have. You know, we have gas fire boilers and there's a gas leak ready to vacate. We're gonna walk out the building to our normal evacuation and go out toward the bus lot, get on the buses, we'll take one around to the college, drop them off, come back, pick the rest of them, they'll be standing outside, fresh air, should be okay. Second round, same location.
Okay, we got
There's a plan.
roll call vote, please.
Josie Shattuck,
Yes.
Gwen Violet,
Yes.
David Costa,
Yes.
Stephanie House,
Yes.
Rashali Shaw,
Yes.
motion carries.
May I have a motion to terminate lawn and grounds maintenance contract?
So moved.
Second. Discussion?
Yes, so in 22, we entered into, we did proposals and took in bids for lawn and ground maintenance. We had 2 vendors that put their name in. We're coming to the end of that contract and we've reached a resolution internally that we don't want to renew that contract. We want to end that contract a little early and bring that service back internal to our own staff. We've already gone through the process of adding custodial personnel to do that, rearrange the hours, adding equipment now for us to do our own lawn care and snow removal in-house. The cost that we've been seeing lawn and ground maintenance has gone up and up and up over the years. We're pushing now $60,000 to $70,000 per year, which is a really high amount. We had one back when it was close to $1,000 in cost. It doesn't need to be that, even with having our staff get overtime for those events, we're not gonna approach those kind of numbers.
And we have the equipment. So
We're in the process of acquiring them now. We have one truck, we've had mowers in the past. We have a brand new mower in the garage now. We have the blowers, the trimmers, all those items.
So we're using mowing season parking lots.
Yes.
Okay.
So we just paid that, do we owe them anything then by terminating
We'll owe them for work completed this summer.
this summer? Okay.
Part of the issue that we've had is sometimes we, and not always conscientious, when they were mowing when school's in session, they were mowing right next to kids outside of the recess, in the gym. We can't be there mowing when we have kids outside, so we pushed it only on Saturdays. They were not a huge fan of that, but we needed the safety issue on it, we couldn't be out there. We've had some other concerns and issues that have been expressed to that company, it hasn't been resolved quite easily yet. That's been the use of it.
Discussion, we need to roll call vote. Gwen Violet,
Yes.
David Costa,
Yes.
Stephanie Howard,
Yes.
Josie Shattuck,
Yes.
Kelly Shaw, yes, motion carried. May I have a motion to go into executive session at 7:31 PM for the consideration of matters related to the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees in litigation when an act against, affecting, or on behalf of the particular public body has been filed and is pending before a court or administrative tribunal. Second. Discussion? Okay, all in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. So we'll be gone like for an hour and then we don't have any action items afterwards, and then we just close